When it comes to positive parenting, there are 5 tips that every parent should actually do.
All 5 of these tips are going to help you to be a more positive parent. The last one will actually give you authority.
We put this one first because it may be the most important and maybe the most difficult, and that is to learn to do your own self-regulation.
Meaning your emotions, primarily.
It's so hard. Sometimes as parents, we come into, I always tell people, parenting would be so easy if you could hit every situation fully rested, on a good day's sleep and feeling great, right? So
Fantasyland.
So we really have to get good about regulating ourselves emotionally.
Right. We get tipped over by the behaviors that our kids are doing, or that are not meeting our expectations, or whatever it is. In fact, our most popular video here on the channel is how to get your kids to listen without yelling.
Right.
And I think it affects all of us. There's a reason why we get tipped over. I think one of the most powerful things that you can do to accomplish this is first to be aware that it's happening.
And I was going to say, I think even sometimes recognizing that, I'm going to be great at this half the time and I'm not going to be so good at it the other half of the time. So that when you do show up maybe a little bit less than ideal, the way you would like to, you go, that didn't go as well. I'm going to do better. Because if you're sitting there beating yourself up about it the whole time, about just being a normal parent, an average parent today, instead of the great parent you wanted to be, right? Or even you were not a very good parent today. If you're beating yourself up about that, you come back at it from kind of a place of negativity or guilt or whatever, and you don't show up as well. So even if you can learn how to self-regulate and be okay with the times that you aren't at your very best, and just recognize it, accept it, and then be regulated so that you can go, okay, I'm going to do different next time.
One of my friends put it this way, and I love this. She said, do the best you can with what you've got some of the time.
That lets yourself off the hook a little bit.
That gives us a little breathing room here. And that's important to do because your own level of frustration will contribute. One of the ways you're going to do this, and the second important tip, is to engage regularly in parent development. Most of us don't get any formal education that prepares us for this most important job in the world. That means it's up to you. And I don't want to create pressure for you around that. I just want to acknowledge that you're going to have to learn some skills and get some ideas and consult, maybe get a little bit of coaching. All of that will help you to become a more powerful, positive parent. Stick around, we've still got 3 expert tips to cover on this video. I just invited you to engage in regular parent development. That's why we made this channel, and this is the free version of all the training that we do for parents. Click on that subscribe button right now.
This next tip is one of my favorites. It is to be there at the crossroads of your children. So I just try to think of it as when they're coming and they're going, the different times that they come and go, right? I had a girlfriend, I tried this for a while, but it didn't fit my personality style, but she would always stand on the porch and watch their car leave until they're completely gone. And the kids knew that mom would always be back in the rearview mirror. I tried it a few times, but it doesn't fit my personality, and that's okay. But I'm there at the other crossroads, and I think that's the great part. Just be there at the crossroads of your children. Whatever, when they're coming and going, they're big crossroads, they're little crossroads. Just be present with them.
And I think you just nailed it with that word, Vicki, because underlying this particular strategy and skill is presence. Being there. And that takes a conscious effort. It takes getting out of your own head a little bit because we all have so much that we're tracking. And you think about it. Think about everything that you have to keep track of. And it's not just your kids. You've got the bills. You've got the relationship. You've got the community. There's all kinds of things that you're thinking about. And it takes a very conscious effort to track, okay, when is my child coming or going?
Right.
And how can I be physically, emotionally, mentally present for that? Following right along those same lines, tip number 4 is all about making family a priority, especially in light of all of the other things that are competing for our attention. This is a skill. It's a strategy. It's something that you can develop and learn to do, it's also extremely important in establishing the kind of positive family culture that your children really need to thrive.
And you can do this in lots of ways. You can say your brother is playing in a game. We're going to go as a family to support him for at least the first half. Even little things like that to bring that family culture that, hey, as a family, we support one another.
I remember when I was growing up, my parents established the priority of family by reserving every Monday night, and we've continued this in our family too. They established every Monday night we're together as a family.
Yeah.
You don't schedule anything with your friends, you don't have extracurricular activities. This is our family night. And it really drove home the importance in our family culture of family being the priority. I told you up front that our last tip number 5 today, would help you to establish authority. And it has to do with 2 important factors that have to be in place in order for you to have that authority.
You know, there are a lot of parents that feel like they have to make sure their kids are having a fun time. So they've got to be their friend. They've got to be just their buddy. But remember that you are the parent and that you're the one driving the family bus. And there's a couple of things that you need to get clear about in order to really establish that authority. And they are...
The research backs this up.
Right.
First, you have to be able to set and enforce appropriate limits.
Yeah, and that goes back to earlier. Kids really need to know that they are safe. And so having those limits set and that you can enforce them is really important.
Now, the other part of authority has to do with something that you actually mentioned about having fun. Because what gives you authority is being able to set and enforce appropriate limits and being seen as a provider of good times and good things.
Right.
If you're lacking either of those, you're not going to have authority with your children. It makes sense that both of these elements are necessary, because if you're all fun, then you're just a buddy, a friend. If you're all discipline, then you're a drill sergeant. Yeah. And your kids will go goofy either way. Right. So it's important, they might anyway, but it's important to establish these to get your authority as a parent. And that way you can continue to drive that family bus. You've got these tips. We're not going to leave you hanging because there's so much more that we can do to support you. The next thing you'll want to watch is 5 powerful secrets for teaching children responsibility. Cue that one up next, and I'll see you there.